What is going on, comic fans? It is Mike from the Hardcover Comic here. Today, I'm going to be doing something different. Matt sort of inspired me with the Starman video he did recently. So I haven't been able to pick up too many books. I've got a handful coming in for the rest of the year, still waiting on some custom binds to get in. So I've been rereading a lot of my collection. Of course, I've got a whole ton of books, and it's been a long time since I've reread a bunch of them. So I've been going through, rereading them, looking at books we've never talked about on the channel. I'm going to talk about them. So the first book I wanted to talk about is from a writer who's really been winning me over with a DC event right now, Dark Knight's Death Metal. Scott Snyder, his run on Swamp Thing during the New 52, the start of the New 52. We're going to take a look at the book, obviously the book itself, look at some of the artwork, which is absolutely incredible. I loved this series when it was first coming out. And the New 52 was pretty much when I sort of started reading comics again and getting a pull list and all that fun stuff. So Swamp Thing was one of the titles that I had actually gotten into because I read Scott Snyder's Batman, really dug it. And then I started looking into his other work. Swamp Thing was also another title he had been working on, so I got to enjoy that thoroughly. Really, really fantastic book. We're going to take a look at the deluxe edition today, published obviously by DC Comics. I'm very excited for it. So, without further ado, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. This is what we do. We post content regularly talking about comics, hardcovers, live streams, all this fun stuff. We do have merch available now. So, we've got this shirt. We're working on some new shirts. We've had an amazing artist helping us out. I'll put his Instagram handle here for you to check out his work. He's been making some fantastic, fantastic logos for us that we're hoping to start merchandising soon because they look so badass, and I can't wait to have a shirt, a mug with all of it, a hoodie. Oh man, it's going to be great. If you're interested in that, we'll leave a link down below. We'll just hit us up on our email for now. We'll get a store set up soon. I'm sure. I know Matt is a wizard with that stuff. So just hit us up on the email in the description if you're interested in anything. Be sure to check out our Patreon as well. For as little as $1 a month, you have the opportunity to win a brand new omnibus or absolute edition or whatever it is, multiple deluxe editions. Last month, our winner won 3 deluxe editions. So really fantastic stuff. Check that out. Let's talk about Scott Snyder's Swamp Thing. Alrighty, now let's take a look at the hardcover up close. So this is the deluxe edition. This came out quite a while ago, but it's a pretty sweet looking book. I must say it's one of the better books that DC has designed. It's a really, really nice deluxe edition. Of course, Scott Snyder, Yannick Paquette, the main headliners on this book. Pretty sweet spine. Again, I really, really dig the design here. Although the logo is now obsolete, all this weird stuff that DC always does. A lot of bragging on the back, but again, really cool Yannick Paquette design. The dude's amazing. I love his layouts. And it collects, Swamp Thing 0 through 18, a couple Animal Man issues, and the Swamp Thing annual. Just going to take the dust jacket off here. So underneath, you get a nice graphic cover. Granted, the front and back are pretty much the exact same image, but it looks very cool. Always up for some more Yannick Paquette artwork. But it's a pretty sizable deluxe edition. I mean, you're getting, like 21 issues. One of them's an annual. Really nice design all the way through. Great table of contents, great intro. So some artists you get here. You get Yannick Paquette doing most of the artwork. Marco Rudy, you get some Steve Pugh, Becky Cloonan, Francesco Francavilla. You get a nice intro by the co-creator Len Wein, of course. Fantastic stuff. And you dive into the book. What's really cool about it is it's Swamp Thing. He's always been in the DC universe, but now he plays a real prominent role in it. And Scott Snyder does his thing, taking it sort of to the horror roots. Scott Snyder's a great horror comic writer. If you haven't read American Vampire, I highly recommend you do. It's fantastic. Witches is fantastic as well. So you get to see some of the amazing artwork in here. I mean, it's stylized for sure. Yannick Paquette's layouts are very different. They're very unique, so they may take some getting used to. The unfortunate thing with this book, too, is it's completely glued to the spine. So you're getting quite a bit of gutter loss, which is unfortunate because Yannick Paquette loves his 2-page spreads, and they're gorgeous. I wish we could enjoy them fully. But like I was saying, so the story you're obviously following Alec Holland, and there are some changes here. In the past, Swamp Thing was sort of this vegetative being that had the mindset and the thoughts and memories of Alec Holland. But in the New 52, Alec Holland is the Swamp Thing, and of course you get to see Abby Arcane. You get to see Anton Arcane show up here, but the main villain throughout the entire 20 issues is this thing called the Rot. Now, the Rot is the antithesis to the green. It is death. It is rot. The green and the red, I should say. It is death. It's pretty wild. You get to introduce to some new members of the Arcane family. You get to see Alec Holland sort of deal with having to voluntarily become the Swamp Thing and become the champion of the green. Absolutely stunning artwork throughout. I loved it so much. But what I really liked about this was the horror aspect of it. The art is horrific. The storyline is horrific. There's a lot of gratuitous violence. Scott Snyder does some really cool things with the powers of Swamp Thing, really ex- extend, really accentuating the sort of growth in the vegetation that the Swamp Thing can do. Gives him some cool weapons here and there, gives him wings, things like that, horns. Really, really awesome. There are a lot of great twists in the storyline. A lot of fantastic characters you get introduced to, and it really culminates in this story called Rot World, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard of. It was a crossover. Look at that great cover. I mean, what a great, fantastic throwback cover that is. Yannick Paquette, man, one of the best. Here's some Francesco Francavilla artwork. Absolutely love it. There's a page in here where it's like it's 2 pages of Swamp Thing going back into this. There. Yeah, I mean, come on, right? Beautiful. I love Francesco Francavilla. His style doesn't work for every book, but when it works, it works. He's great on horror titles. But anyway, so the main story really wraps up with Rot World, which is sort of this epic crossover between Animal Man and Swamp Thing. They do some cool things looking at the origin of Alec Holland in the New 52, how he became Swamp Thing. They sort of make some revamps and some changes. Take a look at the binding here quick while we're in the middle. Completely glued, which is unfortunate. It would have been nice if it had some give to it, especially since there are so many amazing 2-page spreads that need to be enjoyed. So here you get a little bit of the Animal Man issues with some Steve Pugh artwork. A great run as well. If you haven't checked out Animal Man by Jeff Lemire, there's an omnibus for it. Highly recommend getting it. It's a fantastic run. Not as good as Grant Morrison, of course. My boy Morrison is he's a legend, so let's not get things twisted here. But nonetheless, fantastic stuff. I love Buddy Baker. And it's great to see him work with Swamp Thing here. It's fantastic. The artwork's great in those issues too. I love Steve Pugh's art. But you get into this Rot World bit here where essentially Swamp Thing and Animal Man end up in a world where the rot has taken over and they need to figure out how to pretty much bring Earth back to the status quo, if as it were. All of the superheroes, for the most part, aside from like Poison Ivy and a few others, Deadman, are they've been taken over by the rot, and these are the sort of the battles that they have to undertake. So you get to see. I'm trying not to spoil things here. I mean, I'm trying to flip through these pages quickly, but you do get to see sort of the first meeting of Alec Holland and Abigail Arcane as well. Very, very cool in the Carpathian Mountains. You get introduced to Anton Arcane and how he knew Alec beforehand. Very fun stuff. But you get to see a really cool exploration of Swamp Thing's powers as he sort of grows and expands on his abilities in a very, very cool way. I really enjoyed it. I thought, Scott Snyder likes to make changes to characters. If you've read Justice League or Batman, he likes to add to the mythos, and it can be hit or miss. But in the case of Swamp Thing, he really did a good job. So let's take a look at the bonus content here. There isn't much of it, but there's a decent amount, and it's pretty nice. You get some nice black and white drawings here by Yannick Paquette, some designs for some of the things like the horns and stuff like that, the Rot World Poison Ivy, some of the other characters from the Rot World saga, other characters like the Seth character that was in the first story arc here, and some great cover layouts and some pitch artwork. It's fantastic. Some nice little bits and pieces here that you can enjoy. Some of the covers that were, I don't know what to call it, connecting covers, but not too much. Still a great little deluxe edition if you're looking for a really fun horror-based Swamp Thing run. All in all, I must say, I really did enjoy Scott Snyder's run on Swamp Thing. He's a hit or miss writer for me. He crushes it on things like Batman, in my opinion. Not the entire run, but for the most part, that run is fantastic. Of course, Swamp Thing I enjoyed quite a bit. Dark Knight's Death Metal has been tremendous so far. I really love that event. It's been so much fun, so chaotic, a great universe with insane things happening. It's so fantastic. I love it very much. I'm glad Scott Snyder's crushing it with Greg Capullo on that and a variety of other artists. But if you didn't get enough after reading Scott Snyder's Swamp Thing, don't worry. Charles Soule took over the title. Did a wonderful job. I really loved Soule's run as well. You got to see some more Jason Woodrue in there. You got to see the Machine Queen in there as well. It's very, very cool. I highly recommend checking out his run. That was about, I think up until issue 36, had a crossover with Aquaman as well. Fantastic stuff. Hopefully we get a deluxe edition for it someday to match with this book, collecting the entire New 52 run, because Swamp Thing in the New 52 was actually pretty damn good. It went from very good to excellent. So I can't recommend it enough. Have you read Scott Snyder's Swamp Thing? What did you think of it? Of course, it's not as good as like Alan Moore's run. It's probably better than Mark Millar's, I'd say. But anyway, what did you think of Scott Snyder's run on the title? Whoa, little slip there. What did you think of Charles Soule's run on the title? Let me know what you think of Swamp Thing in general. And if you're going to be planning to pick up this book, hope you guys are all doing well. If you're not, I wish you a speedy and excellent recovery. Like I said before, subscribe if you haven't already. This is what we do on a regular basis. We have a Patreon where you can win a hardcover comic. Last month, our winner won 3 deluxe editions for as little as $1 a month. You have the opportunity to win that. We also give away digital codes, X-Men, things like that, whatever Marvel titles I end up picking up every month. But very exciting stuff going on there. Merch, hit us up at the email down below for more information on that. And thank you all very much for tuning in. This is Mike from the Hardcover Comic. You stay classy, Internet.